Hello and welcome to an introduction to Old School RuneScape. In this video, we are going to take a look at the bare bones basics of OSRS to get you new players, or those of you finally returning to RuneScape after a long break, familiar with the game and ready to jump right in. First things first, what is Old School RuneScape? Old School RuneScape is a revival of an early version of RuneScape, one of the world's longest standing MMORPGs. The game is set in the world of Gielinor, a fantasy world filled with adventurers, wizards, monsters to kill, skills to train, quests to complete, and importantly, thousands of other players. You start out as an unskilled level 3. You will train your stats, complete quests, and master the combat system, building up your account and allowing you to take on all Old School has to offer. Old School was originally launched back in February 2013 as an almost exact copy of RuneScape from a 2007 archive of the game. The simplicity and the solid fundamentals which underpin Old School RuneScape have brought millions of people from around the globe back to Gielinor, ready to explore the deep and charming world. Since 2013, Old School has been regularly updated. All kinds of quality of life changes have been added to improve gameplay, as well as countless pieces of new content fleshing out the world and giving you more to enjoy. Most recently, Old School has made its way onto mobile devices. With Old School's point-and-click nature, this almost feels like a match made in heaven. With that brief overview out of the way, let's take a closer look at the game itself and get you ready to start your adventure. Just before we begin, I have one important note for any returning RuneScape players. Your items, stats, and other progress earned in the original RuneScape have not been carried over to Old School. Since the day Old School was released, everyone started fresh. This was for a variety of technical reasons, but also to ensure the integrity of Old School's high scores and economy. You can still use your original RuneScape login to play, but you will start from level 3 like everybody else. If you are having trouble accessing your original RuneScape account, head to runescape.com and click support in the top right. From there, select the Your Account section, where you can find the necessary links and information to reset your password via email, or recover your account by proving that you are the original owner. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. Once you have created your RuneScape account and have logged in, you will find yourself on Tutorial Island. On Tutorial Island, you'll speak with a number of tutors who will teach you the very basics of how Old School works. You'll learn about many of the skills in RuneScape, as well as combat, questing, interacting with NPCs, accessing your in-game bank, and more. Along the way, you will unlock and learn about each part of the in-game interface, and that is a sensible place to start. So let's take a closer look at the interface and how you interact with the game. Depending on whether you are playing on a mobile or desktop device, there are a few different ways that your interface might be displayed. The interface currently shown on screen may not perfectly reflect what you see in game. However, it is important to understand that the content of the interface never really changes. It may be arranged slightly differently on mobile versus desktop, or in resizable mode versus fixed mode, but the same fundamental elements are always there. So what are those fundamental elements? Old School's interface can be broken down into 4 main parts: the camera, the tabs, the chat box, and the minimap. The camera is your view of the game world. Your character is shown in the middle of the screen. You can rotate the camera by dragging your finger across the screen on mobile, and on desktop you can either use the arrow keys or you can hold down your middle mouse button and drag. You can click or tap anywhere in the world to walk or to interact with an object or NPC. Long pressing on mobile or right clicking on desktop will show additional options. The tabs are the primary part of the in-game interface. They contain everything you need to access information about the game, your character, and much more. The chat box is used to communicate with both other players and NPCs, and it's also where you'll find various bits of information provided to you by the game. The buttons found across the bottom of the chat box let you filter out certain types of chat. There is also a report button used to report rule breakers and in-game bugs. The minimap is just that, a small map which shows you basic information about your surrounding area, including the general layout, nearby players, items on the ground, and NPCs. Around the edge of the minimap you can also find orbs which offer quick access to a few key bits of information, like your hit points, prayer points, run energy, and special attack energy. Also around the edge of the minimap, you'll find one of the most important parts of the interface, the world map. The world map can be accessed by clicking or tapping on the globe icon just below the minimap, and that covers the very basics of the in-game interface. That is as far as I'll be going in this particular video, but if you're interested in a deeper look at every tab, a video is linked both on screen and in the video description, which provides just that. But for now, let's move on to some of the fundamentals of Old School's content. And what better place to start than with skills? Old School RuneScape has 23 different skills which you can choose to train, 15 of which are available in the free-to-play game. You train skills by using them. With the woodcutting skill, you can train by chopping down trees. With fire making, you train by making fires, and with Slayer, you train by slaying certain creatures. As you earn more experience in a skill, you'll level up, giving you access to new content and giving you the ability to do more with the skill. The maximum level for each skill is level 99, but getting there is no small feat. You need to earn over 13 million experience to reach level 99, with the maximum experience rate for some skills sitting at less than 100,000 experience per hour. With 23 skills, there is a great deal of variety in what each skill has to offer. The support skills include agility, thieving, and slayer. Agility helps you move around the world with ease, using shortcuts and overcoming obstacles. Thieving allows you to steal various items from NPCs. Slayer has you kill some of the most lucrative monsters from all around the world. The gathering skills include mining, woodcutting, fishing, hunter, and farming. Mining allows you to extract useful ores from rocks all over the game. Woodcutting involves chopping down trees and collecting the logs. Fishing has you capture fish from fishing spots. Hunter involves placing traps and capturing various creatures. And farming allows you to plant seeds and harvest the crops. The artisan skills help you take those resources and turn them into something useful. They include cooking, firemaking, herblore, smithing, fletching, crafting, runecrafting, and construction. Cooking allows you to cook raw meat and create food, which is typically eaten to heal. Firemaking allows you to set logs on fire, on which food can be cooked. Smithing is used to turn ores into bars, and bars into weapons and armor. Fletching is used to turn logs into arrows and bows. Crafting allows you to create jewelry, leather armors, and various other useful items. Runecrafting is used to create magical runes, which are used to cast spells. And construction allows you to create your own house, which can provide many different utilities and benefits. And finally, we have the combat skills: hit points, attack, strength, defense, magic, ranged, and prayer. Hit points is the amount of health that you have. Attack improves your melee accuracy and allows you to equip better weapons as you level. Strength increases your melee damage and also unlocks a few weapons. Defense allows you to wear different types of armor and makes you more resilient to attack. Magic allows you to cast spells, both combat and non-combat. Ranged is used to equip bows and crossbows, attacking enemies from a distance. And prayer is used to give temporary bonuses to your combat stats or to provide unique utility while prayers are active. Combat is another key aspect of Old School RuneScape. So let's take a closer look at combat and how it works. If you're interested in a deeper look at skilling and some pointers on where to get started with each skill, see the linked skilling introduction video. In Old School RuneScape, combat is everywhere. Almost 1/3 of the skills in Old School are dedicated to combat, as well as countless pieces of content throughout the game. Training your combat skills allows you to kill a vast array of creatures and bosses, as well as other players in the wilderness. Unlike many other MMORPGs, in Old School RuneScape you are not limited to a particular class. You have complete freedom to train your combat stats as you please. You don't have to limit yourself to being a wizard, a warrior, or an archer. You can train your magic, melee, and range stats to your liking, and enjoy the benefits of each without restriction. Combat in Old School is very simple. Select the attack option on an NPC and your character will start to attack. The speed, accuracy, and potential damage of your attacks are determined by the equipment that you're wielding, your combat stats, as well as the combat stats of your target. Once your target's health reaches 0, they die and you claim whatever loot they drop. If your health reaches 0, you die and you lose most of your items respawning in Lumbridge. If you die to an NPC, you might be able to make it back in time to retrieve what you lost, but a more reliable way to keep a hold of your items is to not die in the first place. You can accomplish this even in the most challenging of fights by eating food to heal hit points or simply running away when your hit points get low. Becoming a master of combat is no small task, but it can be extremely lucrative. Many of the most profitable activities in Old School are combat based. High-level bosses provide rare and expensive drops, and so do monsters unlocked by leveling up the Slayer skill, or content unlocked by taking on the one-off bosses during quests. And that brings us to our next topic, quests in Old School RuneScape. If you're interested in some pointers for where to start in combat skills, please check out the linked Introduction to Combat video. Quests are without a doubt one of the defining features of Old School RuneScape. They tell important stories about many of the characters throughout the world, unlocking new areas, equipment, and other content. You can see the full list of quests by clicking or tapping on the Quest tab. Clicking or tapping on any of the quests in the list will detail where they can be started and any requirements to complete them. As you start and progress through quests, this tab will keep track of that progress, and if you get stuck, the quest journals found within may help you get back on track. All quests in Old School offer rewards. The rewards on offer depend on the quest you complete, but often include access to new areas, experience in a skill, or unlocking new items. Many of Old School's most iconic quests are available in free-to-play. When you start a quest, you can end up facing any number of different challenges. Some will put you up against unique monsters or a boss to defeat. Others will have you take on complex puzzles. Some will send you on trips to new lands or to foil some evildoers' plans. If you're interested in some recommendations on where to begin with quests in Old School, check out the linked Introduction to Questing video found in the description. And that just about covers the fundamental elements of Old School RuneScape. Remember, you can always rely on the people around you in game to help you out out and answer questions. And if that doesn't work out, you can always check the Old School Wiki at os.rs.wiki. The wiki is a community-run website which details almost everything there is to know about Old School RuneScape. And that is where we're going to finish off this video. Remember, Old School RuneScape is now available on mobile. Check out the link in the description to download it free on iOS or Android. If you're interested in more brief introductions to the various aspects of Old School RuneScape, check out the videos linked on screen and in the description. Thank you all for watching and good luck with your Old School adventure.